Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We're back with the Ted Show. Today is Wednesday. Very excited to have Ellen O'Connor on the show today. She's with Dave's House. We're going to talk about Dave's House. We're going to talk about the homeless and mental health in Central Florida. Welcome, Ellen. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, Ted. Thanks for having me.
So everybody loves origin story. I told you that before we went live. They want to know a little bit about Ellen, and they want to kind of figure out, okay, how did Ellen get from point A to point B working with Dave's House, and why it's important to her. So give us a little background on you.
Well, I spent most of my career in the newspaper industry. Interestingly, I worked for a Tribune Company, and I worked for the Sun Sentinel in South Florida. And I think being part of the media and seeing the stories of how homelessness, is impacted in our community, it's always been something that I've felt passionate about and been involved with. Um, Later in my career, when I came to Central Florida, I switched into the nonprofit sector, and I've been in administrative roles with nonprofits since then. And I met Ron and Lynn Walensky, who founded Dave's House. And Dave's House is named after Dave Jeffries, who was Lynn Walensky's brother, who suffered from schizophrenia. And I was just so inspired by their story of how they created this nonprofit in honor of her brother, because they saw that his life completely came together once he had permanent supportive housing. And I think we see so much homelessness throughout the world and through the United States, but it doesn't seem like there are enough answers. It just seems like a complex problem that's hard to get your arms around. And what we found with Dave's House is that we're seeing positive solutions. We're seeing people make incredible transformations.
And that comes from the housing part, right? I've served on several, I've worked with Coalition, worked with Shelley Lawton when she was in her post. It seems like housing, it all comes back to some sort of housing. Why is that so difficult for us as a community to wrap our arms around as a whole, that's the solution? I feel like we put a lot of band-aids on things.
Well, and I think that I want to kind of stay in the lane of mental health, because our focus is supporting adults with serious mental illness, and that there is a big intersection between homelessness and people with mental illness. But I know for the population that we serve, having that that foundational element of not worrying about where you're going to be tomorrow, and that you can have your things around you, it actually helps their recovery. I mean, think about the stress that's relieved if you don't have to worry about where you're living. And not only that, but the home that they live in, they have roommates, and that's a support system. Then they have, through our partnership with Aspire Health, they have access to a clubhouse, which is a whole nother network, and case management. So I think for those suffering from a mental illness, the having housing is foundational, but they need those wraparound services to really live in recovery and have a fulfilling life, and being able to stabilize themselves to the point that they can get a job and volunteer and really live their best life, which is what our goal is.
And I think that people don't realize that if you've been homeless, if you've got mental illness, mental health issues, that it's not as easy to maneuver through the system as people
Right.
think. You would think there'd be one giant source, and everybody wants to Google everything, and you'd be able to go. And instead, it is really a difficult place. Think about it. What if you're homeless and you don't have a laptop to Google with?
Right.
All of the things that we take for granted, I feel like they struggle with, and we have to find better ways to get the information to them, to get the wraparound services to them, so it's easily accessible. I worked in the field. My master's degree is in a very similar field to this. So I worked with nonprofits, and one of the biggest things was access. Well, we had the programs, but they didn't know we had the programs.
Yes.
And so getting that word out. What about people like me who want to get involved, who want to help Dave's House out, who want, or who maybe have a relative or a friend who could use assistance?
Well, we are fortunate in the Central Florida community to have the partnership of National Association of Mental Illness, NAMI, Orlando, which is a great organization. Eric Welch heads that up, and they refer a lot of folks to us and to Aspire Health. And then we have the Mental Health Association of Central Florida. So those are two really good organizations. Aspire Health is a tremendous organization. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but
Yeah.
they are really the leading mental and behavioral health services provider in the Southeast. And that's who we're fortunate enough to partner with at Dave's House. And they do have a very extensive assessment program. So if anyone feels that if they feel that their loved one has a mental health issue, calling the main number for Aspire Health or going on their website would be a great place to start. And then I would highly recommend NAMI Orlando as well. And they're welcome to call Dave's House. We try to help anyone that we can navigate it, because a lot of times if you're in the middle of the emotional situation of having a loved one going through this, it can be incredibly draining and scary, and you do need support.
The support's everything, I think. And I think that because so many caregivers in that situation, so many family members just don't know, back to figuring out where the resources are, it just becomes a Herculean task to figure out how to keep your loved one safe and moving forward and trying to find services while you're all the time you're looking for them.
Right.
So I love the fact that they can reach out to Dave's House. What about us in the community who want to wrap our arms around Dave's House and what you all are doing and want to get involved? Is there a way for us to help?
Yes, we really want to reach out more to the community and get volunteers. There's so many different ways that you can get involved, whether it's in a leadership role in our board or one of our committees, or we have opportunities to be an advocate on our behalf and volunteer at events and speaking engagements. And then we have a variety of fundraising. I mean, we get so many calls every day. It's just me and one part-time person and then our volunteer board. So having more volunteers to help us with outreach and advocacy, it's really important for us to advocate on behalf of the adults with serious mental illness, because there really isn't one entity out there, speaking on their behalf and
Right.
helping them navigate. And a lot of them are navigating it themselves because their relationship with their family members have been fractured. They weren't diagnosed, and so they've gotten involved in some type of substance as a means of self-medicating, and then they have a dual issue that they're trying to get help with.
And so, what is it like? I've worked in both nonprofit and for profit, so I understand where I relate to where you're at. I just did it the opposite way.
Yeah.
Um, so, tell people. I think people don't understand why certain people go in the nonprofit. What is it for you on a personal level? What is your mission? What's your goal, and what do you get out of it? Because I had people when I moved from nonprofit to for profit go, oh, I totally understand that, Ted. Nonprofit's this passion thing, but you don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
People are always about the money. But
Yeah.
for you, what's the reward? What's the reward and what's the ultimate goal?
I'm an older mom. I have two young kids, and I had my career. I felt like I had my career where I was career driven, and now I'm more focused on how do I take all the talent and skill sets I have and see the change in the community, because I'm not that I'm like planning to leave the world anytime soon, but I do start thinking, I think at this point in my life and with young kids, like I want to have an impact on making a real change, and not necessarily the profit percentage of a company, which is there's something to be said for that also. But I want to use my talents to see a positive change. And I do feel with Dave's House that the adults with serious mental illness are a vulnerable population. But they, one of our residents said to me when we were doing an interview recently that he had started to, he was living on the street, so he had started to think of himself almost as trash. He was sleeping by the trash can. And now he sees himself as someone that's going to give back because he's made that transformation. And it made me think like, well, no human being should ever feel that way, that there's so much potential in everyone, no matter what situation they're going through. And that's where we want to intervene and say, everyone, no matter what their challenges from a mental health perspective, should have a stable home, and they should have a supportive network to have make sure they have a fulfilling life and they're able to be part of the community.
I think you taking your talents in the business area is just something I want to highlight really fast for people. A lot of people are afraid to get involved with nonprofits because they can't cut a check. And
Right.
you all have all of these gifts, these talents, these crafts that you have honed in your businesses. And all of these nonprofits need that expertise, some area of something you know how to do.
Yes.
The volunteer hours and the volunteer time is just as powerful sometimes as the check writer.
And I would say it's a win-win situation because I know, unfortunately, as a result of COVID, there's a lot of people who's maybe are making a career shift. And I will say that it's a win-win in that you can take your skill set. If you're very talented at social media or marketing or strategic planning, you could come in, help us with a project and then move on with something else if you choose to, or stay involved. But you can also use that as something that you contributed and you used your talent, and we can be a reference for someone. So I know a lot of people do that also. They're in between jobs or they're making a career transition, and they use some of that time to give back. And it's such a great and valuable contribution that they're making.
Yes, don't underestimate the value that you can bring to a nonprofit. Trust me, if you have something you know how to do, they need your help with
Yes.
it. It's just, don't ever underestimate your value as far as participating and helping out nonprofits.
And our website is daveshouse.org, and no apostrophe, DAVES house.org.
Yes, it's scrolling across the bottom,
Oh,
guys.
good, that's right.
I did it right. All right, Ellen, you're amazing. I am so excited and humbled by the work that you all do. It's so necessary. You all get involved, get out, check out daveshouse.org, reach out to them. If you have a gift, a talent, somehow you want to get involved, or if you have somebody that you think would benefit from the services and the wraparound services that they can reach, please reach out. I'm just so excited to have you on the show today, Ellen. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate being part of the show.
Absolutely. And thanks to Kathy Pearson.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that in there so she could see it. I made it all the way to the end, so she has to wait. But all right. Thanks so much, Ellen. You guys reach out, daveshouse.org. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.